Media station WTUG HD2 Northport, W265CG Tuscaloosa, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to South, and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and I learned that fixing thing. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show fan page. You can find it at Martin Houston Live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can also follow at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and we'll have X's and O's, Xavier Houston, joining us today. So we want to bring him into the program. Good morning. How you doing, X?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Before we get into the program, I want to remind you, like we do each and every day, that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Wow, we survived. We made it. We won.
Yes, we did. Might have shaved a few years off my life, but
yeah. Did you see the end of the game? I'm gonna call you out on the radio. Were you one of them Bama fans I've been talking about all week that may have sang and had the fat lady singing before the game was over?
Yeah, I was. I did miss Auburn's last drive of regulation. I was sitting outside just kind of like, man, I can't believe Alabama lost this way. And I was waiting for the update on my phone. And next thing you know, I look at it and I realize we have the ball at the 3-yard line. And I ran back inside and just was like, okay, let's see what we can do. And you know, Bryce Young probably led one of the greatest drives in Alabama history. I know everybody talks about how Greg McElroy did it back in 2009 in a similar fashion down on the plains, but definitely, in my opinion, from what I've seen, the greatest drive in Alabama football history.
Yeah, up until that point, there had not been a whole lot of hope. But the crazy thing is we ended up running almost 90 plays. As bad as we played offensively in that game, we ended up running almost 90 plays of offense, had over 300 yards of offense. Of course, when you get the opportunity to go 90-plus yards multiple times in the same game, as a matter of fact, in the same quarter, it's easy to rack up those yards. But is some compilation of that drive going to be Daniel Moore's next print, the drive? I mean, or here's the beauty of it. I hadn't even thought about this. I keep saying Daniel Moore. will Jacoby Brooks, have his own rendition of that with the catch, maybe the catches, or will Bryce commission his own painting? They don't even have to wait on Daniel Moore. They can commission it themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have to say that drive will most likely be a drive to remember, Daniel A. Moore painting of some sort. But you can't have that drive without Jordan Battle's play. Jordan Battle with the awareness and, going back and watching that play time after time, watching as he realizes how close he is to the sideline, he goes from trying to pull Bigsby down from the back to sliding and pulling him out of bounds. So whatever rendition that we get of that play, I definitely think that has to be a part of it.
Yeah, both players on the offensive side of the ball, as you said, and then, of course, Jordan Battle's tackle. To me, we can talk about it. There were several plays of the game, but what gets your nomination for the play of the game? Is it the Jordan Battle play?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. If Jordan doesn't make that heads-up play, it really takes away anything that happens after that, because Alabama's left with barely a minute, if that, if he doesn't do it, versus a minute and a half, over a minute and a half. So you definitely have to give him his credit. To me, that is by far the play of the game, because I don't think anything happens after that without it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I want to apologize to the young man, Jacory Brooks. I said Jacoby, but Jacory Brooks, number 7, stepping up, getting his opportunity to play. Looked like a freshman the majority of the game, but on that last drive, Mr. Brooks stepped up and made a big-time play multiple times and gave it a good valiant effort on another opportunity. So he definitely that was good to see. And now he gives a legit threat to be worked in, even in the scheme of the game, etc. Hadn't talked much about this. We can go kind of go all over the board. I mean, make sure I invite the listeners and viewers to call in and chat with us. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business at 205-342-9904. We'd like to hear your thoughts and comments as a part of the conversation this morning, speaking with X's and O's, Xavier Houston, and we will be catching up with Scotty Hollins in the fourth quarter. But when you look at it was so many things. I don't know if I've seen so many things go wrong as I did in that one game, but one of the big ones, of course, was the targeting play. And I have always, admired Nick Saban for the way he's played special teams, because he forces you to get better. And I think that's part of his development process and getting guys tied in. And we've been able to watch special teams in this year to see who that next up and coming superstar linebacker or playmaker is going to be. But with what happened Saturday with Jamison Williams going down, does that give you pause or make you wonder whether or not that's still a good idea? Nick Saban has always said, I don't play scared. I don't play worried about injuries. I don't, and I agree with that. But this targeting rule, that's it. So are you still as comfortable with Nick Saban's decision to play after that happened?
I mean, I don't know if I've ever been comfortable with it, but to me, if you're going to play a starter there, play a guy that is used to doing that type of responsibility. Having a wide receiver out there, he doesn't practice tackling. He doesn't go through those drills every day. So he's just out there kind of playing loose and free. And it came to bite us in the butt on Saturday. So I don't mind playing starters, but maybe a guy that is technically out of position because it's not something that they're used to doing. And that's what happened. Jameson went out there. He's a wide receiver. He doesn't tackle. He doesn't do those type of things. And it finally bit us. Yeah, it was great when he downed the ball at the one because he's the fastest guy on the field. So you look at that aspect, but are you okay with giving that up for a guy that knows how to go out there and make tackles and do things properly?
Yeah, and it happened. It's only happened one time, so that may be the mindset. But what I don't like about it is, and Alicia Perry is agreeing with you. She said that wasn't his position. So, and that's kind of what makes you wonder about it. It's like, man, is this the right thing? Is this what we want to do? But it's only coming back to bite us one time. But it was a bad time for it to happen. Magnifies it, makes you wonder, makes you question whether or not it's the right thing. And it'll be interesting to see if there's any adjustment, like you said, and do you lose a starting wide receiver on punt coverage? Is it worth the risk? And I had never even thought about targeting being an issue with losing an offensive player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you kind of have an expectation that you could potentially have to replace a defensive player that gets thrown out of a game, and you have contingency plans for that, but you don't have a contingency plan for a wide receiver to get thrown out in your battle against your arch enemy. So, but we're going to go ahead and get the break here. I want to invite you all to get in on the conversation. We'll continue to talk with X's and O's, Xavier Houston. We'll look into a couple of other interesting things. People have been clamoring. B-Rob is not the man. Give us another running back. Give us somebody better. Well, do you feel the same way that he may not be there this week? We'll see what Nick Saban had to say about the running back position. We'd love to hear your thoughts on, do you want B-Rob or are you glad you got Trey? Let me hear from you right here on the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, everything pretty quiet as we begin this Wednesday morning. No wrecks and traffic fairly light around town. If you do see conditions, of course, give us a call. 205-886-8886. It's a brand new month. That means brand new deals and great savings at your hometown dealer. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. And I'm Captain Ray.
This is Alex Durrence from the Better Business Bureau serving Central and South Alabama. And we want you to shop safe and shop smart this holiday season. The mix of product shortages and increased online shopping likely means more online shopping scams, which are one of the top scams facing consumers year after year. So remember to research before you buy. Look out for fake websites. Beware of making quick buys on social media and use your credit card when shopping online. For more holiday shopping tips, visit bbb.org.
Word of mouth has Dante's dental clinic thriving.
17 new patients? Nice. Is this next month's calendar?
But he needs another dentist to give his schedule a good cleaning.
This week? You're kidding. Oh, you're not.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The city of Tuscaloosa's favorite outdoor ice skating rink is back and better than ever in a new location. Come find us at Government Plaza from November 22nd through January 17th. Skate passes and season tickets can be purchased at holidaysontheplaza.com and make great stocking stuffers. Looking to host a private party or celebration? We've got you covered. Learn more about private party packages at holidaysontheplaza.com.
You're listening to Tide 100.9. Are you in the holiday spirit? Check out Tuscaloosa's Home for the Holidays, on Nick's 97.5. All Christmas songs 24/7.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another big warm up today. The sky's sunny, the high very close to 70. For tonight, clear with a low at 47. And the very mild weather continues tomorrow and Friday. Lots of sunshine both days. Highs between 72 and 75. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 41 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com. Hello, I'm Martin Houston. And while I get really excited about football season, I love the holiday season even more. Merry Christmas from the Tide 109 family in the Martin Houston Show. Roll Tide.
Well, to answer your question, the first part is no. The second part is, we have to coach the players that we have, and we got to get them ready to play the game. There's nothing else we can do about that. Injuries are part of the game. You don't ever like to see any player, not be able to compete, especially when they've had a great year all year long and probably want to play in this game because of that. But as a coach, you just have to coach the players and try to get the players ready that you have available to play in the game, and have confidence in them and try to do the things that they can do well to help the team.
That's Coach Nick Saban talking about the challenge of running back and missing B-Rob versus, Trey Sanders. How big of a deal is will it be if B-Rob's not available? How does it impact us?
I think it'll be massive. CJ Watson made a great point. He's a 1,000-yard back in only 11 games. He didn't play against Southern Miss, so you're talking about a guy that would probably be around 1,100, 1,150 if he had played. So he's giving you almost 100 yards on the ground. He's adding to the passing game. He's the best blocking back we've got on the team. So is it because he's not pretty? It for the fans aspects, but for what he brings to this team, we need him, especially against a physical Georgia defense. And I think if he's not able to go, it's going to be a big detriment to the offense. And that's not a knock on Trey Sanders, but Trey just hasn't proven to me that he's back to 100%, that he's back to being the playmaker that he was when he was coming out of high school. Everybody's going to talk, he jumped over a guy Saturday, and it was nice. But after that, that was a 7-yard game. After that, how effective was Trey running the ball? Yeah. Granted, the offensive line didn't block well, but
that's what we've been saying all year with B-Rob. So how many yards would B-Rob potentially have behind last year's O-line?
Exactly. People bash B-Rob because he's not breaking long runs. He's all these things. His career is longer than Najee Harris. Just to put that in perspective.
But in the last 2 games, he's had a 60-plus yarder, 30-plus yarder, and like one right at 20. So maybe he's getting there. I don't know. Let's see. We got Curtis Lewis. Let's see what bring in Curtis. Curtis, you in with the Martin Houston Show? What's on your mind, sir?
Martin, how's it going? I'm gonna go ahead and stick a pin in that party pig you two are blowing up on B-Rob, don't you?
No, hey, go ahead, man.
Hey, man, the hate's real.
Ain't no way on God's green earth B-Rob is going to be missing this game from a standpoint of running. I don't care. We could have Adrian Peterson back there right now. We're going against the number 1 defense against the run. And that's not because they just exceptionally well at linebacker too, but they got a defensive line that just stuff and everything. And we don't run outside of the tackles. We haven't ran outside the tackles hardly at all this season. So B-Rob's forte is between the tackles. He's not going to give us nothing in between those tackles against Georgia. We have to have more creativity. We have to have more ability to throw the ball to the back. It's like we saw with Trey Sanders. When he threw that ball to Trey Sanders down in the goal line, we've got to have more creative running, not just the aspect of a back going into the A gap. We got to have it where the quarterback is running. We got to have it where we possibly running jet sweep. We got to stretch that defense.
Hey, and I agree. And I don't think it's B-Rob, Trey Sanders, or Christian Leary, or our quarterback. I think is I settled last week that what's his name is just absolutely opposed to running the ball outside the tackle. He doing anything outside the tackle. He has built a wall that goes straight back from the outside shoulder of the tackle, from the O-line all the way to the goal line backwards. Because you're right. I mean, you're right. And ironically, I hope B-Rob is good. I hope B-Rob is able to play, Curtis. But if he's not, it actually, and hear me out, I'm not saying we're going to be a better team, because I think B-Rob is a good ball player, and I think what he brings to the table, he does really well. But to your point, you cannot go into this game with Trey Sanders and Christian Leary with the game plan we've had. If we do as coaches, I'm going to question Saban, Marone, O'Brien. I'm going to question all of them if we don't come out with a game plan that has stretch plays, swing plays, screen plays, draw plays, and just spreading the running back out. I'm going to get Nakobe Dean or one of those other linebackers out on covering that fifth wide receiver, which is Christian Leary or Trey Sanders, or if B-Rob's in, I'm going to get one of those linebackers out of that box.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely right. And that's exactly what I'm saying. We've got to be able to run the ball from a more creative standpoint than what we've been running the ball. We have got to run the ball just like a Gus Malzahn type running scheme, where it's not just going up through the A gap.
Yeah.
Christian Leary is a heck of a weapon for us, but it's not going to be running him in between those tackles.
Can you go ahead, Xavier?
I'm sorry. Christian Leary is a good ball player, but let's be realistic. He's also a wide receiver that is being forced to play running back.
Does not matter.
Trey Sanders has had injuries and hasn't proven to be effective, especially long term and through the game. Our best option at running back is number 4.
But Xavier,
hold on. We're talking about all to the running back side and the backfield. B-Rob has 29 catches on the season and is averaging 8.7 yards a catch.
But Xavier,
he's effective as a receiver as well.
I agree. B-Rob is our best option. I'm saying it doesn't matter if we use him the way. Okay. I thought you were saying that what we've been doing. Okay.
We have to spread them out. We have to stretch them out. But let's not act like B-Rob can't get to the edge. Let's not act like B-Rob isn't effective in the pass game.
I think what Curtis is saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Curtis, I think Curtis is saying with B-Rob in there, we have settled on we're going to run between the tackles. We're not going to spread the running backs out. We're not going to use the passing game as a weapon, not as an occasional thing, but as a strategy. Is that right, Curtis?
That's exactly right, Martin. And B-Rob is not the guy for that.
I disagree with you there.
B-Rob isn't 100%. Even if he plays, what can he give you?
And he's still our best running. If B-Rob is at 85% Saturday, he is our best running back.
He's not the best back. But he's not, even if you had your best running back going into this Georgia game, he's not going to give you anything in between the tackles. Like I said, you got to have Derrick Henry back there going between the tackles this year. That's not going to give you anything because that Georgia front is too damn blame stout. You cannot make
So let's not put that on B-Rob. Let's put that on the coaches and the offensive line.
I'm putting it on the fact that you got to have a package. You got to have a game plan where you're going to be stressing those corners. You got to be stressing the flats. And that's not the B-Rob game. B-Rob game is not that line. He's got to have speed. B-Rob is not a fast back. How many?
Neither was Najee. Najee is a 4.6 guy.
Made a statement once before them. Najee only had one 40-yard run. An explosive play is 20 yards. And how many did Najee have? Najee had five explosive plays. And he had even more from the standpoint as catching the ball.
But hold on.
If we're going to say that, B-Rob has had a ton of 15 to 20-yard carries this year. He's got a 63-yarder. His 37-yarder is what got us in field goal position to even make the last drive possible.
I think B-Rob can do it. I don't think B-Rob's been given enough chance to prove that he can do it. Both of you guys are basing it on what you've seen. Xavier, you know B-Rob and what B-Rob could do, and you know all the way back through high school. And I think B-Rob can do it. Curtis is looking at the fact that why don't we do it, and we haven't seen him do it. And I agree, B-Rob's game is inside. I think he is a guy that we don't use enough, but I think that B-Rob, considering who we have, I think B-Rob still gives us the best chance because he doesn't have to be as fast if you get him out in space because he's going to punish a DB. He's going to break tackles, and and I'm not in not even in the same category as these guys. But if you go back and look, when I played, I averaged 7 yards a carry on first and second down when they didn't know I was getting the ball. And that's what I think would happen with B-Rob. If you're not expecting him to be out on the edge and on the corners, I think he would surprise people how many tackles he break, how effective he was. But either way, both of you are right, Curtis. If we go in here and we don't have B-Rob, Trey Sanders, or Christian Leary outside of those tackles, if we don't move our quarterback and if we don't run our quarterback, man,
definitely have to move the pocket.
It's gonna be ugly.
Jordan's on mud stompers. That's exactly what's gonna happen. If we're not creative with our play with the back,
need to play.
Go ahead, Curtis.
If we're not more creative with the backs that we have,
yes,
receivers that we have, and quarterbacks, and I mean plural in quarterbacks, because the mirrors has got to become part of a game plan at some point in time. Being back there, if you're gonna slay Bolden a little slow behind back there in that slave cat thing that looks like a dead cat, you're just asking to give Georgia just give them the trophy before halftime if that's the case. But it's a quarterback in that position. It's got to be Milroe.
And I don't understand how we don't have.
This year.
Has Milroe played in 4 games? He's played in 4 games. And I'm assuming that's the only thing I can think of, Curtis, is that he's played at least 1 snap in 4 games. And
he's on a red shirt.
And they're gonna red shirt him. But even when he was, but even with that, go ahead.
Yeah, I understand that, and that's unfortunate because if you're gonna give away this season because you're trying to save a guy's red shirt for next season, who might not even be your starting quarterback next season, well, he won't be because it's gonna be Bryce again. So why are you saving his red shirt here? Behind him, you got the kid from Tennessee coming, who's going to be a heck of a quarterback, showing everything on paper at least. He's going to be a heck of so there's no guarantee Milroe is never going to start. He may be a transfer for the guy next year.
Yep.
But he's going to play the kid.
And here's my thing. If I had a formation and I didn't have Jalen Milroe, and I look at the way receivers finish runs, I wouldn't put Slade Bolden in anyway. I'd put Mechie in. Mechie is a physical. You don't really see it. You don't really think about it. But you watch Mechie at the end of every run that he gets a chance. He puts that ball in his outside hand and he tries to put some pads on the other player. So
put Leary back
or Christian
situation.
or anyone. That's what I'm saying. And so maybe we'll see something different. I thought we would see JoJo Earl in that position, but we didn't. So, but we need to run some speed sweeps. We need to run on the edge.
Play the game
We think about, when was the last time you saw the motion come across and the motion went directly behind the quarterback to fake a speed sweep? We don't. Our motions all go up high. Our motion go up high and around the running back or behind the running back, or we do what we call orbit motion, where the guy comes in and then goes back out. We don't even threaten you. We don't even threaten you to move to the other side with a speed sweep or anything. Curtis, I'm hoping that we've been saving this for Georgia and didn't want to show them. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I don't think O'Brien is that smart to stay all year long, though. Because one of our key plays that we had was when a receiver go into motion and come in front of the quarterback, and then all he quick hikes and it goes straight to touch pass to the receiver. He just gone. We haven't seen that one time this year.
The little shovel pass.
Yeah, that's the shovel pass.
Yep.
Stewart done it perfect. I mean, he barely touched it, but he just changed the direction of the ball to the receiver. But we don't see any of this stuff. It's just like, you almost think that we just straight ground and pound and throw it on play action. That's all we're doing.
That's all we're doing. Well, hey, Curtis, I'm going to have to let you go, but someone said, but hey, someone said, I don't think O'Brien can change his play calling, Jed Cowan, and then he said O'Brien is dumb. So I ain't going to call him in dumb, but he is definitely stubborn. He is definitely stubborn.
He's an offensive coach. He's an NFL coach.
Which they don't change much.
And they don't change. They don't do a lot of the misdirection, pretty stuff you see from a traditional high school, college level coach.
But Ray is an NFL coach. Even the oldest GOAT down there in Tampa Bay is an NFL coach, and they've all changed.
Yeah.
But his offensive coordinator, Leftwich, is a young guy. Leftwich is if he's 40, he's just now 40. You're talking about a O'Brien guy who is an old school offensive coach. I'm not talking about the new age guys that are younger and willing to do things like that. You have to look at it like that. There's a division from the old school.
Hey, y'all, we need to remember that O'Brien traded the best wide receiver in football.
He did.
And a pretty good running back. So I guess we need to take that into consideration. I hope he's good enough to get us through Saturday, and then we'll recoup from there. He might be going to Virginia Tech. So
no, they hired.
No, they already hired.
State defensive coordinator.
Oh man, I didn't even see it. I was kind of, I ain't gonna say I prayed it. I ain't gonna say I prayed, but I wouldn't have cried. Thanks, Curtis.
Notre Dame's still open.
All right, bro. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
Too.
All right, coming back on the other side, we'll get to Robert from Mobile. The phone lines are open. We'd love to hear from him right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, a truck has lost its load on 2059 eastbound at exit 89 near Mercedes, blocking the right 2 lanes. Serious delays. If you see other conditions, give us a call. It's a brand new month. That means brand new deals and great savings at your hometown dealer. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. And I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show. And I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package. drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
We're going to need to fire up the plow. The big one.
Forecast is 6 feet of snow and 66 new customers for Trent Snow Service.
Hey, Terry,
She needs more drivers before business melts away.
What do you mean Dee can't drive? I thought he was certified.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our Pep Talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring. I'm Martin Houston, and I really get excited during football season, but nothing excites me as much as the Christmas holiday season. On behalf of the Alabama One family and the Martin Houston Show, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please stop by one of our branch locations because we'll be open to serve you throughout the Christmas season. And don't forget, you can visit alabama1.org. And once again, Merry Christmas from Alabama One together.
I mean, I think the guy's one of the most, dominant players in college football. And any defensive lineman, I guess you can look at a lot of things, but the number one thing is how hard are they to block? And he's really hard to block. So, he's got great size. He's very powerful, but he's got really good, initial quickness, short area quickness, and can push the pocket in pass rush. He's about as good a player as I've seen for a long time as an inside player on any college football team.
That's Coach Nick Saban talking about Jordan Davis, the behemoth of a man, former basketball player, 6'6", 300 and some change, and moves with great agility in a short area, and he's powerful. Alabama will, without a doubt, have their hands full. And so we will need O'Brien to help them out. Let's talk with Robert from Mobile. Robert, you're on the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
I sure hope he's a junior or a senior. He'll be gone next year.
Yeah, I think he could have left last year. I think he may be a fourth year player. I'm not sure. I know he's gone after this year. I'm quite sure he is. Him and I know one of their defensive linemen came back, but I don't know, that could have left. I'm not sure if it was him or the other kid. And hey, by the way, they got as Nick Saban pointed out, they have 9 guys with 2 or more sacks on their defense, FYI.
Yikes. There was not listening to Curtis. He's always entertaining when he gets off. Ironically, though, he hasn't been that happy. We haven't had to get on our Pete Golden rant lately.
That's true.
That's really surprising.
That's true. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got to give P.O.P. credit. He won that last. They was defense never won that last game for us, and won a couple of games for us this year. Unlike last year when it was offense. He didn't manage to pull out a few games for us. Last year, confidence with Curtis. Everybody's right. That's one of the things. Everybody's right. We definitely need to play this game, outside the tackle. And all running backs want to run inside the tackle. You want your running game to be inside the tackle. If your offensive line, because you want your offensive line to give you such blocking such that you can run between the tackles. That's your first priority. But what you have to realize when that's not happening, to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And that's what our complaint seems to be with Bill O'Brien. There's no adjustment. Like you kind of say, why is Bryce Young rolling out one side or the other side? We need a Lane Kiffin, Sarkeesian type coordinator right now.
Yeah.
And somebody they can give Georgia something they hadn't seen before. How many times we said about Alabama's defense? They gave us something we hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
It's time for Kirby Smart to make that speak. They gave us something we hadn't seen before. I'm hoping that's what they've been saying. But some of these games have been so close to you. Well, if you're saying something, you really need to put it out right now. If you're saying that thing with Georgia, well, this Auburn game's really tight. Don't you think you want to try and win this one? And so I'm kind of worried that we're not saving anything. This is just how we got in.
But
that's depressing.
But if they didn't game plan it, it's hard to run it and execute it if you haven't game planned it as much. And so you go with what you've practiced more than just what's in your playbook sometimes. And so, and then go ahead, Xavier.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, of what Curtis said, what Roberts added, talking about playing on the edge, running the ball out on the outside. How have we been able to do that this year, honestly, when our weakest spot has been right tackle? Unless you're only going to run outside to the left, because Owens has been beat and George has been beat constantly. Or are you saying?
But see, that's what a stretch play is. A stretch play is you start at that tackle's outside leg.
And you can cut back.
And you can cut it, and if he plays inside, you bounce it. If he goes outside, you cut it up. So you give the running back some options because he has time because it's a stretch. He's starting 6 yards deep. Then on the play action, you run the play action off of the stretch play. Watch what happens if you run a stretch play to the left, and you fake it to the running back to the left.
And boot him back around.
And that guy is gonna it helps that tackle. Our tackles look that way because we're stationary.
But think about the Auburn game. You remember the one play? It looked like we were going to run a stretch to the left, and by the time B got the ball, Cohen was in his lap.
Yes, Cohen got knocked.
The only strong spot on our offensive line this year has been Evan Neal.
Yeah,
you've had Dalcourt get whooped. You've had Owens, Cohen, and Ekiyor and George get whooped.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think we have tried to run stretch plays,
but you have to go back to it. But you have to go back to it. If you'll run a fourth down with Trey Sanders right where you ran it every time, and you've been getting whooped all day, you have to try it more than once. Hey, I got to give Robert a chance to close out, and then I got to get to Pat. Pat, Robert, closing thoughts. I got to get to one more call before we get to break.
Okay, yeah. And another thing too with Bryce, this is the normal debate we have with Bryce all along. There's been a few times that especially that left side will open, and there's a running lane there that if you take off right now, you've got at least 10 yards with a good move, maybe 15. That he overlooks because his eyes are downfield and he's trying to get that pass off. That instinct against Georgia, if that opens up, go.
And hey, listen, and Robert, and I'll let you go. But if we call that play, it's gonna look just like the pass play.
Right, exactly.
So call it. What you're talking about is there on a quarterback draw. It's there. We just don't call it. So, all right, appreciate it, Robert.
Go back and forth, Brian. All right, guys.
All right, have a good one.
Have a
Hey,
good one.
Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you seeing this game going this weekend? Are you that surely we're not going to have the same referees we had down in Auburn that didn't have any idea what defensive holding was?
I really hope we don't. I doubt very seriously we'll have the same officials, but if we do, we'll have to adjust. I'm gonna tell you, you have to do, Pat. What I'm gonna tell you, the Auburn DBs figured out real quick that they weren't calling it a tight game, and they got aggressive. You know what I mean? You can't blame them. That's just like watching a basketball game, and the basketball officials are letting you get away with fouls. If you're the more physical team, you just ramp it up and make them call the foul, and it has to be almost egregious for them to do that. But I hope we don't have the same officials.
I'm seeing this game going a different kind of way this weekend. I'm seeing 28 Alabama and 17 for Georgia.
Ooh.
And we may going to make Kirby cry.
High school.
Generating 28 points is what I think we need to have to win this ball game.
I think we may score on a non-offensive touchdown this week. I'm just and most likely it's going to be from a turnover of some sort on defense. But I think we get there. Xavier, DC had it 35-31. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah. I think this game this week. To me, I know me and you talked about it. There's no way Georgia can play better than Auburn did.
No.
There's no way. You're talking about probably both sides, the best defensive game I have seen. I mean, at least since Georgia Clemson at the beginning of the season, but probably longer than that, honestly, where both it was penalties and big plays that made the difference. So, I mean, I feel like we'll be able to do a little bit more offensively than they were, and then against Georgia than we did against Auburn. But the question is, do we allow Georgia any big plays offensively?
And that's
because when you break down the numbers, it's not a huge difference. The biggest difference between their defense and our defense is points per game.
That's right. And we've given up a lot of big plays. Thanks, Pat. Got to get the break here. Thank you, sir.
Y'all have a great one.
All right, coming back on the other side, we'll have the Johnson Marshall Dentistry Christian Moment of the Week.
100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, a truck has lost its load on 2059 eastbound at exit 89 near Mercedes, blocking the right two lanes. Serious delays. If you see other conditions, give us a call. It's a brand new month. That means brand new deals and great savings at your hometown dealer. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa, and I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. A man who ran away on foot from a traffic stop on I-2059 last night was struck by an 18-wheeler. He survived without life-threatening injuries. The incident occurred near the I-359 interchange around 7 p.m. West Alabama Narcotics Squad unit stopped the man, who then bolted into the path of a truck. He was transported to DCH Regional Medical Center and will face charges. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather. It's free. I'm Don Hurley. Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing LLC.
You know when you order a new video game or a golf club or a blender, and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at Home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at Home, delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It's now time for our weekly catch-up with Scotty, Hollins, Johnson, and Marshall Dentistry Christian Moment of the Week. Scotty, I'll toss it to you to encourage us how we can incorporate our faith into our life, and let's continue to highlight these young folk.
Awesome, man. Am I seeing double again? I see two Martins.
What's up, man?
Just want to jump in. We have completed our first cycle of Champions of Character, and so we will take this week off from celebrating them because we actually get started next week. So we'll have another group, actually 10 consecutive weeks of Champions of Character will be coming up, and so we're taking this 1 week off. And I just want to celebrate the state championship teams that are, that's pretty cool. You think about teams that have made it to the state championship. Mark, you ever made it to the state championship in high school?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Hey, just call me out on the radio, Scotty. Don't worry about it. I'm just
Listen, I didn't make it either.
Hey.
I just want to celebrate those teams.
Absolutely. It's a great accomplishment.
Amazing character to make it that far, as you know.
Absolutely.
Powerhouse and strong characters.
Absolutely.
I want to finish our series on friendship, and I'm talking to a great friend right now, Martin. And so I want to just finish our series on friendship with the story of David and Jonathan. Okay? And so, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Okay, good. All right, so you want to finish on David and Jonathan. So you think about this friendship, a very unlikely friendship. We've been talking about the importance of friendship in terms of us becoming all that God wants us to be. And I think this was a very unlikely friendship. Here's why. David killed Goliath, right? And so David, in a sense, began to become this famous character with the people of Israel. Well, the point is, what makes it muddy is the fact that Saul is the current king. He gets jealous of David because the ladies make a song about him, and the song kind of gives David a little bit more credit than Saul gets. Here's the point. Saul is Jonathan's daddy. So Jonathan is the heir apparent to the throne. Saul's the current king. Jonathan's the heir apparent. David is now the person who is becoming more famous and has already been really anointed by God to be the next king. And so you think that those two individuals would be rivals and not friends. You think it'd be impossible for these two individuals, the one who is now becoming famous, who has been anointed by God to be the king, the next king, would not be able to have a real friendship with the guy who is the son of the current king, who in many people's eyes would be the next king. So you think those two guys would be rivals, and that's not the case. And here's why. I think what made this relationship work, and not just work, and not just, when I say work, it wasn't just a friendship that survived, that made it. It was a friendship that thrived. I mean, just at a very, very high level. And so these guys, because their hearts were knit to one another, like they were bros, like a bro from another mother, like literally they were bros. And here's why. I'll give you two reasons I think so. I think that this is the case. One, I think that both of them had just an intense heart love for the Lord. Okay? I think their number one pursuit for both of these individuals, for Jonathan, individually, for David, his personal life. I think they were both just in love with God. All right, so that was the foundation of the relationship. So they were both kind of encouraged by one another's love for God, and that drew them to one another. But then here's another thing: they were both, because of their love for God, they were fearless, like soldiers. You see what David did to Goliath, and then Jonathan had done something similar with the Philistine army, had snuck in with just one other guy, and had kind of anyway, I won't say what he did. You have to read it in 1 Samuel. But here's what both of these guys were they loved God, and they were fearless warriors, and so they were knit together. The foundation of the relationship was the fact that they loved God, but the other thing was that they had that fearlessness in common. All right? But then the other thing is this. Here's the final thing that's so important. I think this is really important for us as believers, and especially in the sports arena. They were both committed to helping the other have the greatest success that they could have. Their relationship wasn't based on, hey, what can I get from you? Jonathan wasn't, hey, what can I get from David? How can I get David to help me get to where I want to go? Or and on the vice versa, David wasn't like, hey, how can I use Jonathan to get to where I want to go? Their relationship wasn't about that. Remember our foundations, we started with the story of the Good Samaritan, and we said the interesting thing about the difference between the Good Samaritan and the other two was that the other two asked the question, if I stop and help this guy, what's going to happen to me? That was the question that we most of us will ask. The Good Samaritan said, if I don't stop and help him, what's going to happen to him? Okay? That was the foundation of David and Jonathan's relationship. That's what made it so special, but it's because their relationship with God was so strong, and they both valued him more than they valued anything else. More than they valued what people said, more than they valued what people thought, more than they valued, their fame. They valued God first, and their love for God drew them closer together, and they were able to have a relationship that said, if I don't help you, Jonathan, David, hey, Jonathan, if I don't help you, David, what's going to happen to you?
Hey, Scotty, did I ever tell you I interviewed for the job you got that brought you to Tuscaloosa?
I think we've had that conversation before.
Yeah, and I told the guy when he told me he was looking at bringing you in, I said, I'm not the guy. He's the guy. And I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just a reality of what I felt like God said was, here's a guy that's going to be the best fit for the FCA program at Alabama, and he's a better fit than you are. And I was like, okay, God, but God said, now you have to make sure when he comes here that you reach out to him. And you and I have had that relationship since you've been here, and it's been beneficial. Yeah, it's been beneficial, just like you just talked about, because our goal is to please God and help each other reach our maximum potential where he has us placed. So, man, I'm telling you, I just told a bunch of kids yesterday about teamwork and servanthood. And if you serve others and love others, it will come back to you and bless you. So, thanks, man.
Hey, listen, you're David, I'm Jonathan.
Yeah. Or vice versa, right? Based on the situation, baby.
You're the man.
Well, I thank you, man. I appreciate you. Love you, bro. And what a great friendship God has blessed us with. And hopefully people can learn and grow from the story of Jonathan and David, as well as from Martin and Scotty. And we'll continue to push on. Love you, man. Thanks. Hey, remember this. Trust in the Lord always. Trust in the Lord always. Lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide. Thanks, Scotty. Thanks, Xavier. Thanks, caller, listeners, chatters, all of you. Keep it going right here on the Martin Houston Show. Stay tuned for more on Tide 100.9.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9. Get streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.